Our next speaker is, by trade, an investment banker at UBS. He is also an economic consultant to the Republic of Armenia, and he's the founder of the Komitas Digital Brain Initiative and has plans to produce an Armenian opera. Please welcome to the stage, Mark Chenian.
Hello. 1971 was a year of discovery for me in a lot of fields, but one important, which is relevant for today, is that Armenians have contributed to the development of civilization, but the world doesn't know it, and more sadly, Armenians don't know it most of the time. Hence, a love story of 50 years and going. I'm going to concentrate on two concepts. One is the digital brain of Komitas, and the other one is opera. Back in 1987, in a roundtable discussion, I talked about machine intelligence. As an investment banker, we were making investments in that direction and so forth. Somehow, Ohannes Salibian, who was the chairman of the music department at USC in California, heard about it, approached me, as usual, lunch, and talked about the Armenian ghazas. Who doesn't know what Armenian ghaz is? So everybody knows. Okay. Ghaz is musical notes, but very typical Armenian. It shows up in manuscripts and so forth. And he told me that Komitas, in his correspondence, and he has extensive correspondence over the years when he was alive, talked about doing research and trying to find out what the logic of ghazas were. And then another letter, he says, I'm making progress. And another one, he says, I found the key. But unfortunately, that key didn't get to us. Somehow, it's out there. And therefore, he approached me and said, this machine intelligence that you're talking about, can they help me in research? After listening 3 hours, what he was saying, the following thought crossed my mind. What nations do not have alphabet, but their language is symbols? And it was Chinese, Japanese, and the Koreans. So I approached scholars, linguists in this field, and tried to discover what the genesis of that language symbols were from, and if it may lead me to the logic of our ghazas. Unfortunately, after 1 year, we didn't go anywhere. Fast forward now. 3 years ago, I discovered that 23,000 documents penned by Komitas is assembled now in Armenia. Some documents are in notes in the margins, others papers and so on, but everything penned by Komitas. And therefore, I approached under the supervision of Marantaran, and I said, what does it take to digitalize the whole thing? And then bring in all the engineers and so forth, and see what we can get out of it. And today, by the way, in Armenia, there are quite a few Komitas institutes and so, but this is the Tankaran, which is the newest one. They're already in the process of digitalizing. Hopefully, by the end of the year, I will be able to quantify what exactly is and what can be complicated with. And if that is completed, then we're going to go through the process of machine learning, machine translation, and then eventually try to invite musicologists to come and ask the smart questions and see if we can extrapolate out of it what Komitas was thinking or what Komitas discovered and so forth. if this is successful, then the whole idea is to patent it to the benefit of Maranatharan and invite the world to come and maybe create Beethoven's brain and see what else Beethoven was thinking that didn't get to us, or Socrates, so on and so forth. So that's the Komitas project, which probably will be able to achieve it within a time frame of 2 years. Back in 1959, for the first time I saw Anush opera. I was in Cyprus, student. It was a black and white movie brought from Armenia, and they showed it in a theater. At the end of the show, the whole crowd, the community in Cyprus, stood up and clapping this, that, and so forth. And I was really surprised about that, because I thought, or I felt, that the Anush opera was very insulting for me. And the insult was the storyline, not the music. And I really was offended. I was only early teens. Luckily, a little bit later, I fell in love with 3 important women. All 3 were women of the stage. One was Maria Callas, the other one was Maya Plisitskaya, and the third one of you, I'm sure you all know, Sophia Loren. These 3 women shaped me in taste, in arts, and so on and so forth. At one point when I was, and by the way, I had the good fortune of meeting 2 of them, Maria and Sophia, especially Sophia when her sons were studying in Los Angeles, but never had Maya, the beautiful ballerina with the dying swan, Saint-Saëns. Anyway, and Maria. And therefore, when I saw what was happening to Maria, I thought that her life story should be an opera. But obviously, it was far-fetched. Coming to us, I thought that an opera would make a lot of storytelling in a very important, sophisticated medium of what we have been. And here is the 3 potential first 3 scenes for you to know. It's obviously very audiovisual, very modern, and so on. By the way, opera is going to be in English. Number 1, first scene, you're in a major museum. A very important artifact suddenly falls down and breaks into 15 pieces. And then from one, like a phoenix, what is the symbol? 1991, Soviet Union crushing into 15 pieces, and from one, Armenia coming out. Second scene. Remember what I said about Anush. Stanford University, graduation ceremony for PhD students. In philosophy department, a young man getting his PhD in philosophy, happens to be an Armenian from Armenia. In the law area, a young lady getting her PhD in constitutional law, happens to be from Armenia. The 2 meet for the first time, nuances and so forth. The guy says, would you come with me to Los Angeles? I have a series of lectures to deliver. She says, no, I cannot come because I have to rush back to Yerevan. This is 1991, and there is a constitutional convention to put together for the new country. And I was assigned to be the Secretary General of that convention. Anush, Secretary General. In different forums, I've talked about the following subject. In the foreseeable future, the intellectual capital in Armenia are the women. And here is a proof of it, that this is my opera. And on this Women's Day, it's really a pleasure to address all of you. And looking forward, in about 10 years, I'll send you the invitations. Thank you very much.
Well done. Well done.